my name is Carol Lockwood. I'm the USA Today bestselling author of more than 12 books and the owner of editmynovel.com. Here today we're going to talk about characters, creating people that you want to read about. So let's get started. First of all, why are characters so important? Well, nearly every great story in some way is character driven. I'm sure you've heard that term, character driven. It means that the characters, by and large, um, set their own destiny. They drive the story through their actions and their decisions. So we want to read about interesting people more than interesting things. It's just human nature. We're more interested in people than we are. Hi, my name is Carol Lockwood. I'm a USA Today bestselling author and the owner of Edit My Novel. Today we're going to talk about characters in 5 minutes. So let's get started. First, what is a good character? Good characters are unique. You know, maybe we don't come across them very often. They're memorable. We don't forget them too soon. They can also be flawed. Flawed characters are more interesting than perfect characters. Who wants to read about a perfect person? I don't. And then they are proactive characters, great heroes and heroines. I don't know too many that sit around their house twiddling their thumbs, hoping that everything works out. Interesting characters are people that go and interact with the world. They make decisions, whether they're good ones or bad ones. They take action, whether it has the consequences they intended or not. So they are proactive. They're also strong. They're strong, and that doesn't necessarily mean physically strong. It means they can have strong personalities. It means that largely they want to decide their own destiny. This could mean that they're stubborn. It could also mean that they're powerful in other ways. Maybe they're incredibly creative. Maybe they're, incredibly determined to make their dreams come true. All right, let's move on. So as you create your characters, what are some of the things you should be asking yourself? These are really important questions. First, you have to ask yourself, do I find these characters interesting? Because if you don't, chances are other people won't either. So the first litmus test is, do you like them? Do you think they're interesting? The second question is, are these people I want to know more about? Now, some characters are interesting, but maybe we really don't want to spend a lot of time with them. A good example of this is, perhaps a very, very bad person that does a lot of very bad things, and maybe we don't want to spend a lot of time with that person. Maybe they're too terrible for us to really want to know more about. They could be interesting, they're not boring, but maybe we don't want to spend a lot of time with them. And this last question is important. Am I rooting for my main character? Your main character has to carry the book. It has to be someone that we care about, that the reader cares about, that they want to do well ultimately. We can talk about anti-heroes all day long, but at the very root of it, people need to be rooting for your main character. They want that character to succeed. All right, let's move on to 5 common mistakes people make when they are creating people in their books. Mistake number 1, cookie cutter characters. They're too predictable. These are people that we know what they're going to do before they do. And if you can predict the movements of a character, they can get boring pretty quickly. Mistake number 2, characters who consistently make dumb choices. I can't tell you the number of times that I've read a character and I was like, why are you doing that? And it just drove me crazy, and at some point I couldn't read anymore. Think about the woman running through the woods from an axe murderer who keeps falling down or who makes dumb decisions. We're yelling at her all the time. If you had a character like that throughout a whole novel, it would be very difficult to follow that character. Characters who act out of character for no good reason. These are inconsistent characters. Characters who are too passive. They sit around hoping everything works out. We don't want to read about people like that. Mistake number 5, characters who are too unlikable. These are bad guys that we don't want to do well. So that was your 5-minute lesson in how to draw good characters. So if you'd like to learn more, please head over to editmynovel.com. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.